Sure.
And hello, hello, hello. Here I am with Dank, and we're not.
And good evening.
Good evening and good night. We're here on the front lines, battling it out with YouTube, lefts and rights, and we cannot go live, so we're just recording this, and we'll upload it afterwards. Yesterday's also did not make it out as a live stream. It may not be a conspiracy. it may,
But it probably is. It probably
is, but it could be just some settings. You know, YouTube's been going through some upgrades and changing some things, and maybe it's just not working in the background.
Right. They had to update their pirate algorithm, so no big deal. That's perfectly normal.
So anyway, we are here, and I think this is like 162. 161 never made it on the air. Tank, please send me the recording. This is Tuesday.
Yes, I'm sorry. The girls always take care of that for me. So I haven't pulled it yet. But yeah, I'll make sure you get it.
All right. So it's Tuesday, August 13th, just to be certain. I think as I said, I think this is 160, 162 or 163. I'll take a real quick look right here, see if I can make out which one we're on here. So 161 is up there on my uploads. I think 163 was the one we were trying to do, and then it just didn't happen. And 162 also did not happen. Oh, and there was that copyright hit from that song you put up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it must be all over it.
Yeah, 162. So anyway, it's okay. We're at 163, but 162 is missing. Maybe 161. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, how's it going, Tank? How's things off in the world of the Kingdom of Manna and the Manna World Holding Trust?
So Kim did get me the original cease and desist order, which I shared with you for the Kingdom of Manna. So now, if you go to the Speak Project, you can see where Kim gave the Kingdom of Manna their power and also where she took it away. It is very, very well written and in no uncertain terms. I mean, it is like the, absolute abolishment of the Kingdom of Manna.
I am
really for gross negligence.
Yeah, I am. I'm showing it now. I'm sharing the screen. Do you want to? We can go through and read it. How about that?
Sure, we can. Let me just see here. You got it up here.
I got it up.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, go for it. I'm driving at the moment. I just went to a meeting with against vaccines. So and spoke there for a little bit with that group. And but yeah, man, go ahead, read that. And
All right. I did redact this. I took out, some, just signatures, names, or like a passport number, that kind of thing. So this is a Manna World Holding Trust. It's dated 15th of December, 2017. To Jasper, aka Peter Ellerman, a Danish passport. Blank that out. All right. So relating to Kimberly and Gogoin, Manna World Holding Trust and Global Intelligence Agency. Mr. Ellerman, due to the gross negligence and violations of both written and verbal agreements, failure to adhere to multiple mission statements and apology letters written and submitted by you to include, but not limited to, documentation whereby you signed and agreed not to make any agreements with the Dragon family members, including Rothschilds, Covens, parents, or my predecessors. So apparently they made agreements with those groups.
All right. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
So let it be known to all parties from the date of the cease and desist that I, Kimberly A. Gogoin, acting as trustee, signatory, owner, custodian, and principal of Manna World Holding Trust and all of its former names, and as director of Global Intelligence Agency, hereby advise you with immediate effect that I have terminated and withdrawn from all activities, appointments, instructions, and involvements with you. You are instructed to cease and desist, effective immediately. Any further communication referencing my name, the name of the trust, and assets of the trust, the country code, documents, and any and all appointments, service provider agreements, letters of authority, etc., previously issued and authorized by me, number one, immediately cease and desist, confirming or indicating that you have the capacity to act on my / Manna World Holding Trust behalf. Two, you will cease to distribute or keep any documents bearing my name or the name of the trust or any name Global Intelligence Agency. Three, you will notify all parties involved in your activities of this cease and desist. And number four, refrain from communicating and contacting me with regard to any business or interest of Manna World Holding Trust / myself / GIA. I hereby confirm the below points of note. Number one, all codes, drawing rights, the system access have been completely terminated. There are no codes, drawing rights in your possession which are active as of this date. Two, your appointment to the GIA, Global Intelligence Agency, has been revoked and all clearances terminated. Number three, your appointment as a service provider has been terminated. Number four, your right to claim access or affiliation with any account / asset of the trust, such as the account number blank, and any previous issued codes, drawing rights issued by me to you and used by various members of your team must cease immediately. Number five, you must notify any and all members of your downline, team, countries, etc., that your positions have been revoked and you no longer work with the Manna World Holding Trust, to include, but not limited to, the blank and all brokers, intermediaries, and officials of the Kingdom of Manna, which you have appointed and I did not authorize. Number six, I, Kimberly A. Gogoin, have withdrawn completely from any affiliation with the Kingdom of Manna, both personally and acting as foreign minister of the Kingdom of Manna. All rights, privileges, and treaties of the Kingdom of Manna will be revoked by a separate treaty, cancellation, and attached hereto. Number seven, due to failure to perform under the service providers agreement and any and all other agreements and making agreements with third parties on my behalf which were not authorized, making agreements from former trustees and or groups which can be considered terrorists against all humanity as considered by a complete breach of trust and a direct violation of what Manna World Holding Trust stands for. You are not due any compensation now or in the future based upon your gross manipulation of my authority without my knowledge. A copy of the cease and desist shall be lodged with the council and all parties involved directly or indirectly with the Manna World Holding Trust and myself, Kimberly Egovoy. Next, it goes on to the Manna World Holding Trust notice of revocation of sovereignty and dissolution of all treaties between Kingdom of Manna and Manna World Holding Trust. Also dated December 15th, 2017. Okay, to Jesper Peter, aka Peter Ellerman, Danish passport, Grand Master Knight, Kingdom of Manna, relating to Kimberly A. Gagoyan, Manna World Holding Trust and Global Intelligence Agency. Dear Mr. Ellerman, let it be known, Manna World Holding Trust registered Kingdom of Manna as a sovereign nation on November 24th of October. Let me try that again. Manna World Holding Trust registered the Kingdom of Manna as a sovereign nation on the 24th of October 2016 in order to act as a liaison to the Manna World Holding Trust. The Kingdom of Manna was tasked with establishing a central bank to act as a conduit to Manna World Holding Trust. For a time, Manna World Holding Trust allowed Kingdom of Manna to utilize its country code / central bank registration FMCA and so on, and all of its privileges in order to expeditiously achieve this task. It's come to my attention that these rights and privileges have been misused in such a manner that it now considers the Kingdom of Manna an enemy of the state and therefore is revoking any and all rights, privileges, and all treaties are null and void based upon activities of the Kingdom of Manna. Manna World Holding Trust, the Master Sovereign, has signed a strict treaty with the Kingdom of Manna entitled Anti-Collusion and Anti-Terrorism Treaty, also attached, which specifically prohibits the Kingdom of Manna and any of its ministries, including yourself, from acting in a manner nor colluding with any party which would be considered an enemy of the state towards a Manna World Holding Trust. Therefore, in accordance with the sovereign law, Manna World Holding Trust hereby revoke any and all sovereign privileges and registrations of the Kingdom of Manna as of the date of this treaty violation notification. Sovereign law has always been administered and overseen by the Manna World Holding Trust with no exceptions. We have considered your actions, your apology letter dated November 2017, and have ruled that you have violated natural law and sovereign law. Let it be known to all parties from the date of this notice of treaty violation that I, Kimberly A. Gagoyan, acting as trustee, signatory, owner, custodian.
Sean, I'm in the middle of a recorded call, so
I'll
call you right back when I'm done, probably the next 40 minutes.
Hello. Can I go on?
Yep, sorry, Dan. Yeah, that's
okay. All right, so I'll continue. Let it be known to all parties from the date of this notice of treaty violation that I, Kimberly A. Gagoyan, acting as trustee, signatory, owner, custodian, and principal of Manna World Holding Trust and all of its former names, and as the director of Global Intelligence Agency, hereby advise you will immediately affect that I have terminated and withdrawn the Kingdom of Manna from all activities, appointments, instructions, treaties, and involvements with you and any affiliated entities. Kingdom of Manna, acting as an enemy of the state of Manna World Holding Trust, is hereby instructing you, Kingdom of Manna, and its ministries to cease and effectively effect immediately any further communication referencing my name, the name of the trust, the assets of the trust, the country code, the documents and any and all appointments, service provider agreements, letters of authority, etc., previously issued and authorized by me. Okay. Number 5, immediately cease and desist, confirming or indicating that Kingdom of Manna has the capacity to act on my/the Manna World Holding Trust behalf to include any and all assets of the Manna World Holding Trust. Number 6, you, the Kingdom of Manna, will cease to distribute or keep any documents bearing my name or the name of the trust or the name of the Global Intelligence Agency, and immediately file this notification of treaty violation with your ministries. Number 7, you will notify all parties involved that your activity on this notice of treaty violation and dissolution of all treaties with the Manna World Holding Trust. Number 8, you will refrain from communicating and contacting me with regard to any business or interests of the Manna World Holding Trust, myself, the GIA. Okay, I hereby confirm the below points of note. Number 8, all codes, drawing rights, and system access issued to Kingdom of Manna and Jasper Elliman and Peter Elliman have been completely terminated. There are no codes, drawing rights, or in your possession which are active as of this date. Number 9, your appointment to the GIA, Global Intelligence Agency, and the Kingdom of Manna's clearances under the GIA have been revoked and all clearances terminated. Number 10, the Kingdom of Manna service provider treaties have been terminated. Number 11, the Kingdom of Manna's right to claim access or affiliation with any account asset of a trust such that the account number blank and any previously issued codes, drawing rights issued by me to you and used by various members of your team/ministry must cease immediately. Number 12, you as acting head of state of Kingdom of Manna must notify any and all members of government team, ministries, and citizens, etc., that all treaties have been revoked and Kingdom of Manna's sovereignty has been revoked due to the violations of sovereign law. Kingdom of Manna no longer has the right to speak for nor have any access to any asset held within the Manna World Holding Trust, to include but not limited to blank any and all brokers, intermediaries, and officials of the Kingdom of Manna which you have appointed, tribal leaders or other sovereigns or sub-sovereigns of Manna World Holding Trust. Number 13, I, Kimberly A. Gogoyan, have withdrawn completely from any affiliation with the Kingdom of Manna, both personally and acting as the foreign minister of the Kingdom of Manna. Number 14, due to the failure to perform under the service provider treaties and any and all other treaties and direct violation of anti-collusion, anti-terrorism treaty, and this dissolution of sovereignty due to violations committed by the Kingdom of Manna, which can be considered terrorism against Manna World Holding Trust. Manna World Holding Trust now registered you within itself and with all of its sub-sovereigns as an enemy of the state. Therefore, Kingdom of Manna has been denied access to all assets contained within the Manna World Holding Trust, and Kingdom of Manna and all of its affiliates are not due any compensation now or in the future. A copy of this treaty dissolution shall be lodged with the council and all parties involved, directly or indirectly, with the Manna World Holding Trust, myself, and Kimberly A. Gogoyan. That's the end of that one, and we go on to the Anti-Terrorist and Anti-Collusion Treaty, Manna World Holding Trust, dated December 2017, between independent sovereign nations of Manna World Holding Trust and Kingdom of Manna. On this third day of December in the year 2017, a meeting took place between Kingdom of Manna, represented by His Majesty Jasper Ellerman, reigning royal monarch bearing the title of the King Supreme Commander and Grand Master Knight of the Kingdom of Manna, and Manna World Holding Trust, represented by Kimberly A. Gogoyan, trustee and reigning royal monarch. Both being independent sovereign nations representing that each of its own interests have agreed to from a cooperative effort to maintain and share its respective lists of terrorist organizations, to include, but not limited to, any and all cyber crimes, financial terrorism, extortion, espionage, etc., committed against either nation, and to agree not to permit any of the parties on said list from any business activities or crossing its borders. Additionally, it has come to the attention of both parties to prosecute to the fullest extent of the law any parties on the joint list. This treaty prohibits either nation and any of its government officials and or citizens from dealings with the below list of organizations and or persons. Any additional parties can be added at any time and shall serve as an immediate addendum to this treaty upon acceptance and notification to both parties. All parties below have and continue to commit various crimes against both nation states, to include financial terrorism, extortion, cyber crimes, and portraying themselves as representing of either or both nations. So now we go, any current members of the order, also known as the Illuminati, also known as the Gnostic Illuminati, to include parties currently holding positions known as Pindar or other leadership roles. Any current member of the Blue Dragon family, any current member of the Black Dragon family, any current member of the Red Dragon family, any current member of the Green Dragon family, any current member of the White Dragon family, any current member of the Gold Dragon family, any current member of the Rothschild family, including extended members, and any all contractors currently executing on orders. Current members of the Committee of 300, current members of the Trilateral Commission, current members of the Club of Rome, current members of the AAIA, also known as the AIA, also known as the Global Secret Service, or GSS, also known as the Global Nazi Party. Any former trustee known to the trust prior to 2013, any and all persons suspected of dealing with any of the above organizations acting on behalf of the organizations, and any and all parties to include His Majesty Jasper and Miss Kimberly Angagoyan found to be knowingly concluding with the above listed organizations and individuals shall immediately prosecute to the fullest extent of the law, autographed by the authority and acknowledged on the 3rd day of December 2017 on behalf of the independent sovereign nation of Kingdom of Manna is His Majesty Jasper Ellerman King, the King's Supreme Commander and Grand Master Knight, and on behalf of the independent sovereign nation of Manna World Holding Trust, Kimberly Angagoyan, signatory and owner. And there we go. So we have, you know, the treaty that was signed between them after they've been recognized by Kim, and that they violated that by colluding and making deals with that group. There we go. See, it's you know, I have the right cadence for reading legal documents. I can breeze through them. So, well, that's a very powerful cease and desist, I must say. I have done a few cease and desists, and it's good to be quite clear in what you're basically talking about and reference all the materials, and that is definitely would be a valid cease and desist. And I guess it was given to them only a month after they started. If I'm correct, the other documents of recognition are in October of 2017. So by December, it's over. You got like 4, 5, 6 weeks or something like that, in which they were found to have already been violated. So Tank, are you there? He might not be here yet. So yeah. So anyway, I was just wondering if this, like, how, when did this colluding start? Was it, you know, from prior prior to this, or from the time of the Kingdom of Manna was formed until it was discovered, or it was like a massive, plot, to create the scenario where the Kingdom of Manna would be setting up a central bank, and for Kim to move the assets into it. It seems like that's the case, but it looks like they haven't heeded the cease and desist, obviously. And the question, that most the people out there should be looking at is, asking them what is their, you're back. What is the reason that they are continuing to present themselves as the rightful, appointed to the assets when they're not? Obviously, they were removed. And I know I've spoken with someone who also had informed me that they said, "Oh, well, Kim was removed from that position." Well, how does she get removed if she's the sole sovereign?
Exactly.
Right.
She's the sovereign maker. How on earth?
Oh, I do not hear you, Tank. It's very light.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it's almost non-existent.
How about now?
There you go.
All right.
I hear you now.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's amazing to me that these kind of things at this level are even possible. That anybody, it's like, clearly she has the authority. There's no one else who can access the trust. It's like, it seems like people would catch on, but you know what it is they're so used to this old way. I mean, it's old in the sense of like the way they've scammed things for so long, but they have no assets to leverage. They just keep leveraging pieces of paper that, make false claims that they do.
Right. Yeah.
So it's really fascinating.
Well,
all about to come to a tragic end too, because, I'm glad to be able to put that out today, because I was put out earlier. And because the reality is that, Jesper apparently is running, the Kingdom of Manna is trying to run the RV.
so
We know
yeah, well, that's interesting too. So what is it with Michael? I mean, where did Michael come into it? Because I now hear the
remember too, he said that they claim the power of the Elohim, right?
Yes, okay, I remember, yes.
So it's Michael Uriel is like Michael, the warrior angel.
Like the angel Michael.
Right.
So that's why. No. Okay. Yeah. When you get the information, right, the pieces don't fall into place right away. Mm-hmm. Right. So, but yeah, that makes sense. So they're claiming to be that Michael, an angel. But that's obviously, that they don't have the power to pull down anything or move anything anywhere. Otherwise, the GCR an RV would have happened, right? Since they've now stepped into that position. I mean, it's so crazy that, you started in the GCR, I started in the GCR from different angles, right? And we come to realize it's not real, and that there's, behind it is the cabal. And then you've got, Kingdom of Manna, positioning themselves to actually bring it across. Now, was that part of the plan from the beginning? The GCR, the big lie, is that, what Kingdom of Manna was really going to be the ones that started the GCR, and it never was known by anyone?
Well, I don't think they realized, I think in 2007, when they couldn't access the assets, they figured they had 5 years to bring in their one world government. And they tried. So that's when they really started pumping up the GCR, right? And then when they failed, they thought for sure they'd be able to kill Kim off, before that. And there was so much secrecy at the top level that they just didn't realize how limited they really were.
Right. So they just assumed they'd be able to manage to pull it off.
Right. It's like, remember when she showed the hierarchy, there's 10 levels above us, and the UN was like number 9.
Now, we would have thought UN was the god, you know? They were like, there was 8 levels above the United Nations, you know? Even the Pindar was like number 6 on the list. So you got to think, like, if you have all those levels above them, it's like they were so much smaller than they thought. They didn't even know how the money was made. Kim's so many levels above them, they don't believe in her. You know, they just can't accept it. Like, look, she's your boss. They're not even in line with their own laws, their own, you know, wild west lawlessness.
Well, it's already anarchy then, right? It's just the system hasn't realized it. they're lawless, right? They're going against the owner, right? Or owners are a wrong term, but the principle behind everything, who they should be taking orders from. They consider they took orders from the previous administration.
Yeah. Well, because no one uses names at that level. They show up with like secret messages, like the devil's wife sent you a message, and everybody just knows. Oh, I know what that means. So all that secret society garbage, that's where all the problems are.
Right. Well, at least now we've progressed way past this, right? And where there is major movement that we can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. So anyway, so that's going on, and then the group that is connected to the Chinese elders and the central bank in China and the Ministry of Clearance that I had talked to, Kim had basically given them her terms, and we were going to give them an agreement back. And basically, Kim said, "Look, tell them to give us their family registration number to prove that they're part of the family. If they've accepted the terms, right, then have them write a letter of acceptance that they accept the terms, and with the other family, with the other members of the family, including the Rothschilds. And once Kim receives that, then we'll move forward." Which you got to kind of believe, like, they would never do that. So I don't suspect they will cooperate.
I thought that the Chinese agreed to the terms. The Chinese
Did verbally, but
not in writing. So more gameplay. It's kind of like all these people going to appear in Congress, right? And they always go with that they don't swear in. Like, why are they allowed to go to Congress and put on this show, but they won't swear in?
That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like Brennan won't go there unless he's not sworn in. If he is sworn in, it's behind closed doors.
Okay. Why?
Yeah, why? Yeah, exactly. I mean, why is it legal to lie in Congress? They made it a law. They made it a law that you're allowed to lie to Congress.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, American intelligence media, talks about this often. And they pointed out, what the law is, and that. I mean, it might be good to, pull that up and say, this is like, you want to talk about like one of the first things to do in the world, reverse this law.
Yeah.
You're required to swear swear in, and then also you're not allowed to lie anymore. Reverse that.
I want you to swear in every day.
Yeah, really. I mean, it should be. And also this revolving door between the private sector, foreign governments, and people working in the government. Yeah. I mean, if you ever to go work in the government, you're now precluded from ever working with a foreign nation. So that's it. You're done. You decide in your life what is your life path. You're going to be a public servant for a government. You can't leave the office and then go and
for the Russians
or any foreign, British. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's a lifetime commitment. It's not like 5 years and you're free to go. No. Lifetime. If you went that direction, that's your life. you basically made your decision, because we can't have this this door open at all. It's closed permanently.
Yeah, I agree. Or I think they can mind wipe them. They should be allowed to, mind wipe them.
Yeah, but they might have a backup drive or something.
Yeah, it's true. It could happen.
Going for the mind wipe, next day. Oh, but he might forget he has a backup drive. But
Right.
yeah, then it's the same thing as Total Recall, right? When they had to put his memories back in, but he was already liking his new life and his new identity.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to get the old Hauser back. He wanted to be the new Hauser.
Right.
No, don't put that back.
Right, no doubt. Yeah, man. So I thought that news that you dropped today was pretty amazing when they put out the report about Ghislaine.
Ghislaine Maxwell, yeah, but it's interesting. She's scheduled to die on the 18th
Yeah.
of the month. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens on the 18th, right? Well, get your popcorn. Take some. When this stuff comes out, it's kind of like I'm starting to think maybe that the white hats are saying, well, we know the chatter's there, so we're going to go into Wikipedia and we're going to put in her date of death because we know they're going to have her exit the stage. Exit stage right? Because it's just scripting, right? It's just Wag the Dog, that movie. Remember with Dustin Hoffman from Wood. They're just telling us what they're doing to us, right? That's part of their rules. So they have to tell us. So they told us in Wag the Dog, everything's scripted, right? And literally they cue the war, and they have the women in the with the green screen behind them, and then they're looking in the war-torn area, but it's just imaginary, completely made up. And so just like Building 7, the British reporters were reporting, 20 minutes before the building collapses, and the classic is they're videoing her, and Building 7 is in the background of her, right?
Right.
And she's saying that, and Building 7 collapsed. Of course, it's sitting right there. 20 minutes later, it's not there. So,
it's terrible.
So Gillette.
I mean, how is this real? It's such a joke.
Yeah. I mean, well, this is part of the wake up, right? I think this is part of the waking up. So I could even say that this is another form of trolling, right? Because anyone can go into Wikipedia and put that in there. But the thing is, it wasn't only in Wikipedia. It also appeared on news posts. Like I think it was CNBC. Yeah, they had a posting on it. So these, it's they're not so coordinated, right? When they have the mainstream media there to back them up, right, and overcome their little mishaps in timing, right? But we're digging, we're looking. So look how long this lasted, right? Already, it happened, and then already it's on video for the advanced medias out there, like X22 Report and In Pursuit of Truth, and who knows how many other are all said, okay, well, let's watch on the 18th. Let's see if Giselle is now off the scene, right? And obviously she's not dead, and now, but is she going to also be pretend dead? Will there be a body double? There's more on Epstein, right? This looking more and more like a body double, because the nose is just so out of, and the ear, they just don't match.
Well, yeah, but you see what happened with that is they showed that it's probably Hillary Clinton's brother, right? That they showed dead, which I thought was awesome. So it was almost like people were saying that it's Trump letting Hillary know, I know he's not dead, and guess where he is, because I'm using him against you, And I was like, oh, that's genius.
Yeah, In Pursuit of Truth was reading a part of the congressional budget page, and it was all about $280 million set aside for facilities for keeping, witnesses safe, right? Right? And so it's like a bunker, right? So it's like, where you're going to protect them, all right? And so this is all, everything from airfare to other things on, support facilities, all outlined in the budget. So, but where'd they build?
Yeah, perfect timing. Perfect timing for that.
Well, this was from it was like from 2 years ago. So the planning was already there, right? They're already putting this into that. It was that omnibus, financial package that they put through, the 2-year package. So, this was from back then. So they knew what was coming down the line, and even in QAnon. Here's another one. This latest was it a shooting, or the guy was stopped from actually doing anything because he was wearing like body armor and stuff, but they picked him up, I think another in New Zealand, right? But they said that he published his manifesto on 8chan, which happened to still be down, right? It's like, well, we really wanted to publish it that, but the left hand didn't know that the right hand shut down 8chan. So another manifesto published.
So I didn't know that one. That's smart. So it was actually shut down. That's really interesting. Manifesto.
It was. They said it was published, but I can't be published on or posted on 8chan if it's not online, right?
Right.
So, but that means. And then why are all these guys that are doing these mass shootings, right? Supposed mass shootings. We don't know what's real with this, right? It could be completely another screenplay, screens and all. Just like the other thing that happened in New Zealand, where they were showing the video of the guy shooting, right, and the bullet cartridges were popping out, and just disappearing. They never hit the ground, right?
Right. That one is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a really poorly, like you couldn't even afford a good special effects guy.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of just like in the gamers thing, right? Because in the game, when you're in the games, right, and you're going around in these scenarios and you're holding the gun, right, and it's firing, the shells are just disappearing, right? It's the same thing.
Oh, right. And they just keep coming.
Yeah.
He unloaded unlimited rounds. This is why we have to ban weapons. But didn't they take the weapons in New Zealand before? Like they actually went to the houses and took them, and then that's where they had a mass shooting.
Yeah, and it was like everyone ignored the law.
Yeah,
they collected like 32 guns, something silly like that.
Jeez, that's so crazy.
And everyone said, "We're not going to turn our guns over."
Yeah, these are all the guns, just these 32.
And those are probably the ones that we got to get them started. We got to say, so that it was like the people that wrote the law, they could, hey, go down to the store and buy some guns so we can turn them in.
Make it seem like we're complying.
So it looks like it's starting a wave because 32 came in the first day and that was it.
Well, every time they have one of these mass shootings, gun sales go up, right?
Yeah.
Every time. So it seems like it's really backfiring on them. No pun intended. But every time they do this, it's like they're trying to scare people about guns, and gun sales go up.
Right. Exactly.
I went out to this meeting today because there was all these parents and other people getting together to talk about what's happening with these vaccines, right? And they did a great job. These ladies presenting, and I, they they asked me to speak there, and like share some stuff, and I give out the vaccine card, like the vaccine cards for them to like fill out for the parents, because parents were freaking out, right? Because I didn't know this. They actually went in deeper on this, how in New York, we have until June of next year, and they're going to make them get this HPV vaccine, right? Even the boys, which there's plenty of there's lots of evidence and studies that show that it will cause infertility even in the boys, right? And why would it's for it doesn't even prevent any kind of cancer. There's no evidence to show there's any benefit to it. And they're going to try to force our kids to get it, and they're making it legal to do it without any consent of the parent at all during school.
Yeah.
Can you imagine your kids going to school and this happening? So I got up to speak, and there was a woman there from Child Protective Services, right? So I started talking about how this threat has been made, or this right now is what they're saying. If you don't get this vaccine, your child will be taken by Child Protective Services. This woman's shaking her head. I said, and I looked right at her. I said, Child Protective Services has said that they are not bound by the Constitution. And she shook her head, and I said, I have it on tape. I know for a fact that that is what it is. And she just stopped in her tracks. So I'm like, but she just could not believe it. She'd been working for them for like 8 years, and she could not believe it.
Yeah. Well, because people, the rank and file don't really understand, right? They're just applying for a job with the good intentions, right? I don't think these people are really starting down that line, right? To say, no, I'm going to go there and I'm just like, I'm so evil at my core. I need to like remove children from their parents, right? They have this idea that they're helping.
Right.
And then most of them, I'm sure that there's some very corrupt ones, right? That are, from the dark side.
Oh yeah, I mean, some of them they love it, but it is what it is. But I was very happy to talk to them, and they were very active and doing all types of things. And there was some, they were very much about going up to Albany, because in New York they're actually, Robert Kennedy Jr., right? He's fighting this up in New York, talking about vaccines. And I didn't get a chance to tell them this, but Cuomo took this contract with Merck, who makes the vaccines, and they suddenly gave him, New York, $50 million for his project, right? That's going to create 150 jobs.
Oh,
so we're going to sacrifice thousands and thousands of kids.
I'd like to be on that payroll, because I get like $1 million.
You would think so, right? Like, yeah, you do okay.
My math's off a little bit, but you know what I meant. It's like, it's 100.
Right. So ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
family members are getting the money.
Right. None. It's it's Cuomo is trying to get ahead of the curve. Oh, we had an incredible voice analysis done of all these different characters, right? Today. It was really, really interesting. Sherry Edwards was talking about the various characteristics, right? Like how like Nancy Pelosi is strictly power driven, right? And then talked about all these deficiencies, how in her voice analysis, she could read and see with this machine she has that she is suffering from Alzheimer's. And I asked her about this with adrenochrome. I said, yes. She talked about her dementia at one point, and she said, my dementia will not affect me being the Speaker of the House. I'm like, because she thought she had adrenochrome that would maintain her. But now she doesn't have it as much. So you can see it. It's very clear, right? And then she talked about Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo was the governor here in New York, was like all ego-based. The reason why he's pushing so hard, he's ego-based. He wants to be ahead of the curve. He wants to be, first one to get everything done for the cabal. But you want to see what New York is a microcosm of the grander agenda. They're already starting with concentration camps and other things. So pretty serious stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're at the turning point on this, because I'm so fed up with all of these people that are just acting out that they can, really just destroy humanity, right? Because they are not humanity, and even in their own minds, they're other. Right?
They're other. Yeah, very true.
They're not they're not they're not humanity. They are something that whatever they think that they are, whatever their bloodline or whatever the blue blood or alien DNA but they're constructing them. They're within their own society that they eliminate love and caring. Yeah. So what is that?
Debauchery. It's not human.
It's not.
And yeah,
By
they
they created their own. They are the alien invasion, or back to Project Red Beam. They are the alien invasion that the world comes together to fight. It's the karma of it, right? They created the scenario of their own removal from power.
It's really interesting. Yeah, you're right about that. It's amazing. Yep.
And I love speaking that into existence.
They destroyed themselves. Yes, I love speaking into existence that we have won. Humanity has won. Humanity is free. We are being empowered with finances, with a benevolent leader, and we get to decide what the world will look like, and that is fantastic. And I'm thrilled to be at the tip of the spear in this kind of movement. So I love it. We have very exciting times coming up, and I am certain they are really all coming together right now, this week, as we speak.
Yeah, well, they got to decide whether they're going to accept terms.
Well, I don't care what they do. Honestly, I think Kim made it this way because she knows they're not going to accept terms. They never do what they say they're going to do. And she's got another push in place. She said it will not matter after the 15th. So we shall see, what the next step is.
Well, we're definitely at the so what is the 15th? Today's the 13th for me, and on a Tuesday. So that's Thursday is the 15th. So Thursday, Friday, by the following week, it'll be a brand new world.
Brand new world.
The last week of the power of the cabal. So let it be. All right, we're there. All right, so are we good for today? Anything else we should cover?
Hello, sorry about that.
No problem. I just wanted to. Are we good for today, or should?
Yeah, no. Yeah, we're all set. Let's wrap it up. I actually have to get on the phone call with those guys and see what they have to say. And I'll let you know as soon as I know. Maybe they will accept terms, and there's a letter coming. So.
Yeah. Well, they know what's already spoken to existence, so they have no choice.
That's right. All right, man. Appreciate it, and I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Be sure to go ahead and subscribe. It's important. Give thumbs up, likes, and we'll be back tomorrow, and maybe we'll figure out how to go live again. Sorry, guys, in the chat room. Sorry we weren't able to do that. There is a way, Tank. There is a way we can have the chat room going through another service like Discord. So
we could do it with this, Dan, as well. We could just use Zoom, and we can use our account. We can open it up to people. We can just put the phone number out there. People can call in, all types of things.
Yeah, I know that gets a little crazy that way, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
okay.
Because you've got 100 people coming in. They're popping in. They're popping up on the screen, or yeah.
No. You just we'll just change the settings so it blocks them. Nobody gets to come in except for we define it.
Okay.
I can work it out. Figure it out.
All right. Well, we'll look. Hey, let's move forward in technology. All right, guys.
All right. Later, Dan.